The UK basketball team is preparing for a run at their 9th national championship with a handful of summer workouts. We're very happy now to be joined by Lindsey from CoachCal.com, who's checked out the workouts. He's kind of the man that knows everything that's going on. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Thomas. How are you?
Good, good. I think that the man of mystery entering next season and entering these workouts is, of course, Ryan Harrow. Watching him, he's got a lot to live up to in terms of other great point guards that have played at Kentucky or for John Calipari. What have you seen from him this summer that looks like he's ready to take on the challenge of leading the team?
I think the biggest thing, Thomas, is obviously it's his first year. It's the first point guard that Cal's had that's been in the system, for a year. He's had a chance to go through these workouts all of last year, and I think that's really kind of paid dividends. It's he's almost like a veteran guy out there, even though he's never played a game for UK. But I think the one thing with him that's important to take note of is Cal always says all of his point guards are different, and I think that's definitely the case with Ryan. I mean, he's a very different point guard than what you got from Marcus and John. I mean, he's obviously not going to be as physical as Marcus, and I don't know that he quite has the speed that John had, but he's a pretty darn good shooter. And I tell you what, pound for pound, the guy might be the best dunker on the team. You wouldn't think at it looking at his size, but I mean, the guy can get up and, as Cal says, put his head on the rim. So I mean, he's going to bring a little bit different things to the table than those guys. But I think it's another one of those Cal point guards that once he gets a few games under his belt with Cal, is going to work out just fine.
He seems like he's got some of the swagger that John Wall had, where he was ready. He steps on the floor and everybody waits for him to kind of take charge and send him. Is he kind of a natural leader of the team? I heard stories like over the summer of him talking trash to everybody, whether it's the NBA guys in town or anybody. Is he kind of the de facto leader at this point?
I don't know that he's the de facto leader at this point, but I mean, certainly being here in the system, he's got some confidence. I guess the word these days is swag.
Yeah.
He's certainly got it. I mean, he's that's what you want out of your point guard, is somebody who's comfortable running the team and isn't afraid to say something to other guys. And being in the system for a year, I think Cal's comfortable with him doing the same thing, and he wants him to be that way. And I think with any of Cal's point guards, it's taking them a little time to feel comfortable because, even though it's generally a lot of young guys, there has been some veterans around, and I think Ryan feels more comfortable, kind of taking charge with this team.
Well, another guy that might have to take charge and at least show some leadership, some veteran experience is Kyle Wiltjer. As a freshman last year, of course, hit a lot of big shots, stepped in, played a great role as a reserve. And now with everybody going to the NBA, he kind of takes on that burden of being a starting player, being more of a contributor on both ends of the floor. And these workouts, what have you seen from Wiltjer that kind of signal his development?
He just looks more explosive. He looks faster. I mean, we all know that Kyle can shoot the ball. I mean, he hit that outside shot last year with consistency. There obviously you could see that he needed some more foot speed. And I think, just in the workouts on his own personal workouts, and then these workouts that have started this summer, he just seems to have more foot speed. He's worked with Kenny Payne a lot, who's developed a lot of big guys here already, and he seems more explosive off the floor. I think he's going to be able to take more guys off the dribble, and he's obviously with the depth they have this year in the front court. They're going to need to have him play more down low, but I think it's critical for his success. Going on to the NBA. I mean, what makes him so different is that versatility out in the perimeter to hit the shot, and if he can develop a kind of if he can develop the dribble and get around guys, I think that's going to bode well for the team this year.
Yeah, Calipari talked when they first signed Wiltjer about all the options he gives you out of that pick and roll. You can step back and hit a basket, roll to the basket. I think we'll probably see more of that this year. But back to the depth inside, there have been a lot of reports that Willie Cauley-Stein is really impressing people. He's making big plays. Is that for real? Because not that I don't think he's a great player. He obviously has a lot of talent. But every year we hear about the one guy that Cal really plays up in the media, and it was Darius Miller, it's been Terrence Jones. But is he really impressing that much, or is it just kind of a positive surprise from what you expected?
From what I can see from 2 hours of workouts, Cal's not blowing smoke. The guy is very, very talented. I mean, the first thing that kind of struck me about him is the guy's fast. I mean, he can get up and down the court. They were doing some sprints. And he was finishing first, second, or third every time. And you think, well, he's a big guy. Those long strides, he should be able to do it every time. But as you and I know, that's not usually the case. And Cal noticed that and said, one of the strengths of this team this year could be speed. And if you can get Willie out and running a lot, I think he could get a lot of baskets in transition. He's legit 7 foot. He's got nice touch around the rim. I haven't seen the outside shot so much, so I don't know what his mid-range game is like. But it's not just that he's tall, he's long. And there's a difference between being tall and long, and he certainly is long as well. And he's got a great vertical. So I think, while you're not going to see the Anthony Davis lob dunks that you saw a year ago, and I think it's unfair to compare him to him, that's not going away in the offense. They're definitely going to try to utilize that this year with him.
Joker hasn't been in there trying to get him on the football team, has he? He's leaving him alone?
I haven't seen him yet, but man, I'm telling you, he can make a difference. He is athletic. I believe it now when they said it was a 7-foot tight end, wide receiver first team. I believe it now.
He can move it. The other two freshmen that are there right now are Archie Goodwin and Alex Poitras. In your report on CoachCal.com, I think you called them a beast, called Poitras a beast, said he's got a man's body. And that's what really strikes me about both those guys from seeing them in high school, is that they're very different, I think, in terms of, Goodwin is more of a vocal leader. Poitras is more of a silent guy, but an absolute monster at attacking the rim. What can Kentucky fans expect from either of those guys next year?
I think both of them you're going to see, and they're going to need it from. You're going to see a lot of scoring from both. I mean, the thing about those guys, you look at them and you think junior or senior in terms of their body. I mean, both have frames they can stand to put on a few more pounds. But I mean, Alex looks like he's been in college for a couple of years. He is ripped. He's got almost a similar body to Michael, but he's almost a little more smooth out there with how he does on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, as I noted in those practice reports, it's everything that Alex does just looks so effortless. He threw down an alley-oop dunk that just caught everybody off guard in the gym because he kind of caught an errant pass, threw back a windmill dunk that it was so ferocious, but yet looked so easy for him. And then Archie he's got a ton of speed. Like I said, he's going to put on more weight as the workouts go on and the season goes on. But the guy's already got a great body. He can get up, and obviously they're going to need him to hit the jump shot. It's whether or not he can consistently do it as the season goes on.
Yeah. Well, Eric, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you again.